Are you tired of sucking at Elden Ring? Well, then you're in luck, because that's what I'm here for. If you still suck by the end of the video, then I don't know what to tell you. Here are 5 ways to immediately get oh, sorry. 5 ways to immediately get better at Elden Ring. Let's get started.
Number 1. Embrace rolling.
This is not Sekiro. Bosses will destroy your stamina if you abuse the shield. It should be your last line of defense, period. As you can see in my clip with Margit here, if you embrace the roll and get your timings down, honestly, when you get to a certain level, you shouldn't have much issue with certain bosses. Unfortunately, your posture is insanely weak in this game, and it can only take you so far. It should be a bailout, if anything, to be honest. It really doesn't have much use in Elden Ring like it has in previous Souls games. As long as you learn to trust yourself and learn your roll timings and learn the rhythm, then honestly, you're on a good path to becoming a better Souls player.
Number 2. Embrace a roll.
It is essential that early on in the game, you really decide what you're going for. Do you want a dex build? Do you want a strength build? Do you want a hybrid build between two different things? If you don't know, then you're just going to scatter your stats around, and eventually your build's going to be worthless at some point in the game. I would personally recommend picking 2 key stats to get up to 50, and then the rest you can do with what you please. Oh, and on top of that, I'd also recommend having your vigor at least 40, because in the late game, if you get hit, it's more than likely going to take over 30 vigors worth of health. If you're a melee build, dex and strength is always a good option, and arcane if you're planning on using certain weapons that I will be discussing later on in the video. But those are always good options to do with a melee build. As far as a mage or a magic build, you're going to want to go with intelligence and faith, and more than likely mind.
Number 3. Use resources.
There are so many resources that go unused in Elden Ring. Whether it be talismans, such as Flame Cleanse Me, or the Erdtree's Favor, both are amazing. Both have amazing abilities and capabilities. And there's a lot of people who just either A, miss out on them, or B, choose not to use them, and I don't understand. It is honestly in the best interest of every player to use them, and I get that there are so many things in the game that's going to be borderline impossible to collect, at least on your own. But if you stumble across a talisman, you're going to want to check it out, see what it has to offer. Don't ever pass up on the opportunity to learn something new. There are also many items in the game that rarely get used, and for example, the one that always comes to my mind is sleep pots whenever you encounter one of the Godskin, either the Godskin Apostle or the Godskin Noble. And I can make a video on that if you guys would like me to, but that is a very effective method of taking care of them, and a lot of people just never thought of it.
Number 4. Use a meta weapon.
I cannot stress this enough. If you don't have a viable weapon in the game, it doesn't really matter what your build is. You're going to more than likely fail. So there are plenty in the game, as long as you know what you're looking for, but just make sure to look out and look at the stats and look at the abilities of everything that you get. There are plenty of viable weapons in the game. One of them I've already made a video on how to obtain, and you can get it within the first 5 minutes of walking out into Limgrave, so which is the Bloodhound's Fang, and there are plenty scattered around, whether it be the rivers and the mountaintops of the giants, or the Blasphemous Blade after defeating Rykard.
Number 5. Take your time.
And lastly, take your time to explore. Enjoy it. Take notes if you need to. Go into all of the catacombs and the tombs and dungeons and everything that there is to explore into the game. This game can be as easy or as hard as you want it to be. Now, if you're somebody who's struggling with the difficulty, then explore, and more than likely you'll be leveled up enough to either compete with or be over leveled for the boss that you're going against next. So if you ever feel like you're struggling with where you're at in the game, go explore somewhere else. Find other things to do, and more than likely you will succeed. If you enjoy the video, please like, share, and subscribe, of course, as you hear on every other YouTube video. And check out my TikTok and Instagram. I'll have them linked in the description below. Thank you.